Hi everyone, you're welcome to my channel. My name is Adora, and on this channel I discuss life in the UK. Now, if you are just seeing this face for the first time, thank you very much for stopping by, and also do not forget to press the red subscribe button so that from time to time when I get to upload any new videos, you will always be the first to know. And for my existing subscribers, thank you very much for being there, for watching my videos. I really do appreciate you. Now, I have a very interesting topic today to discuss, and it's about your retirement age, your retirement benefits, your retirement plans, your future, everything that has to do about tomorrow, today, while you are living in the UK or anywhere abroad, as long as it's not your home country. If you're interested to know more about this, stay there and I will be back shortly. Welcome back. Okay, I hear a lot of people say things like, okay, I can't be bothered about tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Let me just see to today and tomorrow I'll fix it out. Or you hear things like, well, who knows tomorrow, and life is short, enjoy it while it lasts, forget about tomorrow and all that things. You know, it's always like pushing tomorrow, pushing the future to the side just because you think you do not know what tomorrow holds for you, or you think you can always fix it when you get there. You even hear statements like, when we cross the bridge, we'll fix it, we'll sort it out and all that. But yeah, in as much as it's also very, very good to live a relaxed life, not to put yourself so much under pressure, thinking about what the future holds and all that, it's very, very necessary also to think about your future, to think about tomorrow, because you're living a very comfortable life today. You're living a very relaxed life. You are in your comfort zone today. You're wealthy, you're rich, you're working, whatever it is you're doing today. It's very, very important to think about tomorrow. Now, why I said it's very important to think about tomorrow, I've seen situations, circumstances where people have come into their old age, you know, the elderly ones, and when you see the kind of lifestyle they're living, honestly, you get scared of getting old. You become very worried about what your future holds, about what your retirement age holds for you, about how it's going to turn out. Like, am I going to suffer? Am I going to enjoy? Am I going to live like this person is living? You know, you just, you know, and there are some other people at old age, when you see the kind of life they're living, the kind of lifestyle they have arranged for themselves, you admire it and you want or you wish your future to be just like that. So whatever happens in future, to an extent, lies in your hand, and to the rest of it, yeah, it's, let's leave it for God. God will do the rest. But the one you can do on your own, it's always very important you fix it by yourself. And when do you do that? You do that now, while you are still very strong and still very young to, you know, to take care of such situations. Number one, while you are still young, try as much as possible to avoid being in debts. Try as much as possible to avoid taking borrowing, to avoid taking loans, to avoid taking all these credit cards, and so try as much as possible to avoid accumulating debts for yourself. I know it's very, very interesting, it's very exciting and enticing when you start getting your credit cards, when you start collecting loans, you start getting grants and all that. And it's very interesting when you're getting the money, when the money is coming into your account and you're spending and you're being very comfortable with, you know, what you are doing at that point. But where the problem comes is when it's time to pay. Yeah, I know a lot of us like to get things, freebies, things, you know, very easy. We just like to have a very soft life without stress. The money is rolling in. You can't be bothered. But when it's time to pay the debt, that's where the problem is. Sometimes we even have the money, but you're like, how am I going to allow this kind of money leave my account? just because I want to pay, debt that I'm owing. Some of us say things like, oh my God, it's a lot of money. I don't think I can pay this much this month. Let me split it into two. I'll pay some and then maybe next month or some other time I'll pay the rest. Irrespective of how you split it, just have it at the back of your mind that you are still owing, and in one way or the other, you are still going to pay that debt. So that's why I said try as much as possible when you're still younger, when you still have a fresh life, you're still very youthful, strong and vibrant. Try as much as possible, no matter how enticing, no matter how tempting, no matter how it's thrown into your face, no matter how beautiful it may look or it may sound. Try to reduce your debt rates, reduce your credit card intake, reduce the way you apply for loans, you apply for all those grants and anything at all that's going to make you pay back money. It's going to make you pay back, be it little interest or much interest, whatever it is. Try as much as possible to just do away with it. And even if you must, for any reason, take a loan, take some credit cards or whatever it is, it should be for items or for issues or for circumstances that cannot be avoided. When I mean not avoided, that means it should be a must. It must be for necessities, something that is absolutely necessary that you cannot do without taking that credit card or your loans or whatever it is. So if it's very, very important, and then that's when you should go for it. But in as much as it's not important, reduce it. Because I've seen people, they get old, and instead of them to enjoy their old age, enjoy the future, enjoy themselves, their retirement, move around, travel, have fun, relax themselves, that is when they start paying. They start paying debts. They start paying all the money they have borrowed when they were younger. They can't really enjoy their retirement age again, because all the money goes to payments of debts that were old back, like many, many years back, now keeps haunting them. And then they find themselves paying for something that they enjoyed when they were much younger. And then they are put into financial pressure, which is not very good. When you get to a certain age, it's time to relax and enjoy life. It's time to relax and then move along. Just let your hair down. Now you have worked so hard all this while, all these years. It's time to enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself with your families. Enjoy yourself with your grandchildren. Enjoy yourself with your husband or wife if they're still there. Enjoy the age. But instead of that, what do? They are just riddled with the stress of paying loans, of paying debts, of paying off credit cards that they've had all this while. Because whether you believe it or not, if you take a loan many years back, it's still there waiting for you, unless for one reason or the other, if it's written off, then fine, you have escaped it. But if it's not, no matter how long it takes, you're still going to have to pay that debt. So that's why I said try as much as possible to avoid the temptation of taking out credit cards, loans, whatever it is. Secondly, while you're still very young, while you're still in your youthful age, try as much as possible to open a lifetime ISA account. Now, ISA accounts are accounts you can open with your banks, and they have some period of time when you can deposit money. And while you deposit this money, you leave it in there. You are not in any way allowed to touch the money, allowed to withdraw from the money, allowed to make any transactions in that bank account until a specified period of time. So this time, it could be like 1 year, it could be 2 years, it could be a lifetime ISA. So for the 1 year and the 2 years, depending on the kind of bank you open your ISA account for, with, like in my case, in some cases, in most cases I have known about, I think Halifax is very good with such accounts. Halifax Bank, Barclays Bank is also very good. There are a few other banks that you can approach and discuss the lifetime ISA account thing with. And it's a very, very good way of putting money aside. Now, they have different products under the ISA account stuff. And they have the one of 1 year, they have the one of 2 years. These are like short-term short-term basis. Like for instance, if you want to save towards buying a car, if you want to save towards your mortgage, if you want to save towards a particular thing, that is when you can go for the 1 year, 2 years, 5 years and all that. But there are other banks that go for the lifetime ISA, just like the one you open for your children. You start putting in money there, and they are only allowed to access that account when they turn 18. So you can also use a bank like this or accounts like this, like the children's accounts thing, and put it at the back of your mind that, okay, fine, I want a lifetime ISA account. I want to put out money for a lifetime, for a long time. I want an account where I can have no access to until maybe I turn 55 or until I turn 60, 65 or whatever. And then that is when I can access the account and spend the money, enjoy the money at that age and all that. And then while you're younger, try to put away something. Always try to put away something. Put it in the account. Just have that habit of taking out something. Have the habit of savings, no matter how little it is. I know we're in a situation, we're in an environment where we think, or rather where it is quite difficult to save. And I understand that, judging from the fact that the taxes are killing, the bills keep coming. In as much as the money is not there, you still have your bills to pay. You have one expenses or the other to make. So it's kind of makes it difficult to bring out money, to set money aside. We understand all this, but discipline is the only thing you need to bring out a few pounds and set aside for your future. Even if it means bringing out £5 every month, at least £5 every month is reasonable. It's very easy. This is money you spend at McDonald's or KFC, or just for a cup of coffee or a cup of tea in some posh restaurants or places. If you can put out £5 every month and just leave it there for a long period of time, you will be amazed to know how much you have actually saved in at least, let's say, 10 years time. So it's very good to keep something out, and the lifetime ISA is a very, very good opportunity for you to put away money for your future. So take a look at one of these banks, any bank you think that offering one of these products, and give it a try. Now, thirdly, depending on where you want to retire, do you want to retire in UK where you live? Do you want to retire in US where you live? Do you want to retire in Australia, wherever you live? Or do you want to go back to your home country? Do you want to go back to Africa? Do you want to go back to Asia? Do you want to go back to wherever it is you came out from? Depending on where you live. Right now, while you are still very young, this is the time for you to sit down and ask yourself certain questions. Do I want to retire here? For instance, do I want to retire in the UK? Do I want to retire in the US? Do I want to live my old age in Australia? Where exactly do I want to go to, or do I want to stay? If you don't want to stay in the Western world, okay, do I want to go back home to where I'm coming from? Do I want to retire there? You have this at the back of your mind first. Once you are able to ascertain where you want to retire, then the next question that comes in is, okay, how do I plan towards my retirement there? How do I plan towards my retirement where I want to be, where I want to stay? What exactly do I look forward to? If you want to go back to your country, let's say you want to go back to Africa, and then you are thinking, okay, from now till 20 years time, I want to retire, I want to go back to Africa. First things first, where do I stay when I get to Africa? Have you been able to get an accommodation? Have you built any house there? Do you have any property? Do you have anything you can go back to when indeed it's time to retire? You have to start making all those plans now. You have to start thinking of how to get yourself a property, build, or if it's to save up, build a property, rent a property, buy a property, do whatever it is that will make you at least have a roof over your head when that time comes. Secondly, do you have businesses, or do you have a business plan in mind that you're thinking or you're looking forward to when you go back to your home country? This is the time to start thinking about it, to start putting things together, to start bringing out those ideas that you think will work over there in your home country. Not every business idea works everywhere. So this is a time for you to start making your research. What is it I can do back there? What is it I can do in my country? What is it I can do in Africa or in Asia or wherever it is you want to go back to? What business ideas, what business plans, what business models work better? You have to take into consideration so many things. You take into consideration like the weather, take into consideration like the people, what do they like, what will move in the market space. Take into consideration the economy. Is the economy very viable? Is it something you can afford to put in your money and get profits back at the end of the day? There's so many things you have to start working at now while you are still very young and fit for it. Secondly, you also have to think, okay, if I decide to retire, to go back home, let's say for instance you're still you're a married person, maybe you have a husband, you have a wife. Are you thinking of retiring together? What if you want to retire back home and the other half is not ready to go with you? Is this something you can discuss now while you're still married, while you're still young? What's the plan for both of you when you get old? If he or she is not willing to go back home, what's next? Will you change your mind? These are the things you should start putting together right now while you are in a foreign land and while you still have the energy, the time, and the strength to think about it. So now let's come back here abroad where we are all based. If you now decide, okay, fine, I want to retire here, I want to retire in the UK, I want to retire in the US, I want to retire where I live, fine. What's your plan towards your retirement later? Yes, fine, you have worked, you've paid your taxes and all that. When old age comes knocking, are you going to be in a private apartment or a private property all your life? Is that what you want? If you do not want to be in a private property, how or what are you doing to buy a property, to get a mortgage here where you stay? Do you intend to buy a smaller property because you think, okay, it's just me and the children are not going to be around? Maybe my grandchildren come around once in a while. Do you intend to buy a big or a larger property because you think, okay, I'm a family person, my family, we are all family oriented, and because of that, I need a big property so that my whole family, my children, my grandchildren, everyone can come around or live with me or whatever? You think towards all these things. If you think you want to retire here, if for instance you are a city person, you've lived in the city for a long time and you're thinking, in my old age, I desire a peaceful environment, a peaceful atmosphere. I want something quieter than what I have been through all this while I am young. You start to look at it. Where do I now relocate to? What part of the country should I go to that I will find this peace and quietness and enjoy my retirement, enjoy my old age? These are things you should look forward to. Secondly, if you want to retire here in the UK or abroad, wherever it is you want to retire, another thing you should look at or you should consider is, am I moving far away from where I have my support system? Because don't forget that at old age, it can be very, very lonely, especially when you don't have people around you, when you don't have family around you, you don't have friends around you. You look at it, you ask yourself, even if I decide to move away from where I have always known or I've always called home, am I going to move away am I going to move very far from people that can always visit me? Because at old age, you need people around you. This is a country or this is a place where if you're not careful, you could fall into depression due to loneliness. You need people around you. You need people to come around, be it family, be it friends. So think about it. Where do you want to relocate to? Also, the idea of, living abroad and not having the family, a proper family unit, is a very, very, very terrible decision to make. If you are a loner, you're the kind of person that thinks, okay, fine, I can live by myself. I don't need family around. I don't need to have families. I'm just okay. I'm just cool. I'm fine. I don't need stress. I don't need disturbances from family or whatever. It's okay, everyone has a right to what they want, but also consider that when you get to a certain age, it will be more interesting and more comforting to see families come around. Now, I have worked as a healthcare assistant for some time, and I've seen situations whereby some elderly people have nobody coming to visit them. Like nobody turns up at the care home to see them. From year to year, they are there. While some people also have families, but these families do not really give a damn. They only come once in a while, maybe like Christmas, and then they won't come again till the next Christmas, and then maybe to the next Christmas. So you just get to see your families or a family member once a year. Now that boils down to the family unit, the family setting. I understand that everyone is busy doing one thing or the other, or there maybe you could have children, they all go to work, or they're living in different countries, or what have you. But if you are able to maintain a family bonding, like a strong bond between your family, between your children, between your immediate family, I don't see any reason why your family won't be there for you at certain times, no matter how busy they are. Even if they can't come, phone calls go a long way to suit the soul. So if you are thinking of retiring here, this is another thing you should put at the back of your mind to avoid loneliness and depression while you are still very young, while you have your family together, while you have your children and everything together. Try to inculcate the spirit of love, togetherness, and unity amongst them. Bring in this topic of love every time. Let them understand the reason why they have to love each other, be there for each other, because no one knows tomorrow. You could get old in this country if you don't have a proper planning in place. You may find yourself in a situation that you never planned for. Now, even at old age, there are lots of people that are old and they are not in the care homes. They do not live in the care homes. They stay in their houses. They stay in their homes. And that could be because the children do not want their parents to go to the care home. They prefer to have their parents in the homes, in their houses, in their private houses, and get personal carers to come and look after their children. Now, it's interesting, isn't it? Because it sounds like, okay, the children have the interest of their parents at heart. That's why they don't want their parents to go over there. They feel or they think that when their parents are at home, they are well taken care of, or I don't know, they just have this feeling that they're giving their parents a special preferential treatment, which is perfect. Because if I have my parents in this country at old age, honestly, I will do everything I can to keep my parents in the house while I get carers to come and look after them. That's beautiful. That's not to say that parents who are in the care homes are abandoned by their families or are neglected or are dumped there. No. Everyone has a reason for choosing what they want. Everyone has a reason for keeping their parents either in the care homes or keeping their parents at home. One very good opportunity or one very good advantage of the care home at that old age is because the parents there in the care homes, they have these they have the opportunity of mixing with people, of mixing with other people of their age range. So the idea of loneliness is a little bit eradicated. It's not there. They have the opportunity of mixing with people, of discussing, of talking. There is still this friendship unit, this bonding kind of that goes on in the care home because they are not totally on their own. But on the other hand, when the parent is in the house and the carer comes home, yeah, it could still be a bit lonely when the carer has gone and you, the parent, you are left on your own to fend for yourself. And, that's where the loneliness thing comes from. But apart from that, everyone to his own. It depends on what you want. So these are all the things you should put in place. You should think of before you even before you hit that old age level. Start thinking, is this what I want? Would I want to end up in the care home? Do I want to stay at home while I am looked after? Ask yourself all these questions now and start working towards. Another tip on how to plan for your retirement is, which I always cannot overemphasize, is start a side hustle. Start a side hustle. Start something doing by the side, irrespective of what kind of job you are doing, irrespective of where you work. Always try to start something, to have a second means of income, to have a second stream of income. Do something that will also fetch you money apart from your regular 9-to-5 job. Now, why this is very important is because, like the saying, no one knows tomorrow. You could lose your job at any time. Your health could be, could not be the best as it used to be. As we age, we tend to lose one or two strengths usually used to have when we were younger. As you age, there are different issues, there are different underlying conditions that could affecting your age, affecting your health because of old age that will start cropping up. These things could have been there before, but because you're getting older, your immune system is getting weaker. It now becomes very easier for these little ailments, little diseases and discomforts to rear their ugly heads. And then you might find that you are not the usual bubbly, strong self you used to be. Start a side hustle, start something else that will fetch you money by the side. It could be a business, it could be anything, it could even be a hobby, as long as it is getting you money by the side. You know, there's one thing I have come to understand, especially amongst we immigrants, is that we usually like to walk. We can walk and not rest. I have spoken to a few people that has told me that, wow, they like to walk and, you know, take some time out, go on holidays, just treat themselves, go shopping, just enjoy, chill apart from working. A few people. But I have spoken with a lot of people and have come across a lot of people that have told me, no, there's no time to walk and to rest, that all they know is walk, and they will start giving you a list, a whole reason of why they are walking themselves to death. Oh, they want to go and build houses there, they need a property back home, they need to buy cars, they need to do this, they need to do that. Some even tell me, oh, they want to go and impress people back home. You know, family pressure back from home is one of the reasons why a lot of people overwork themselves abroad, because you want to live up to your expectation. You don't want to be seen as a failure abroad. You don't want to be seen as though you have lived abroad for donkey years and you're not able to have a house or a piece of land, or you have a car or have something back home. So a lot of people work themselves to death. They work pressure into their system. There is nothing like enjoyment. There's nothing like holiday for them. There is nothing like rest. So when you even bring up the idea of let's go on a holiday, the first thing they calculate is, wow, how much is the ticket, the air flight ticket? Wow, £500, £600, that's a lot of money. That money, if I convert it to Naira, you know how much it's going to give me, you know how much I can do with that, you know. So that's just how their brain works. It's always about the money. It's always about how I can take it back home, what I can do with it and all that. But I'm not saying you shouldn't work. I'm not saying you shouldn't do something back home. It's very beautiful. It's important. In fact, I don't even see the reason why you will stay abroad for so many years without having at least a little thing, small thing back home. It's good. But on the other hand, while you are doing all of this, working, try as much as possible to take a break. Take a break. And think of something else you can do by the side that will fetch you money. Because you can work and, like I said, break down. And while you are unable to work anymore, where does the money come in from? But if you have something you're doing by the side, any form of side hustle, think of something you can do. Make research about something you can do to get you money. These days, with the invent of the computer, the internet, social media, it's now so very easy to do things. It's very easy to reach out to people. It's very easy to have business ideas, to think. Even if you can't think of something to do, the internet will help you think of something you can do that will fetch you money. It's very easy now. Life is a little bit easier than it used to be like many years ago, 10 years ago and all that. So take advantage of what's happening right now while you're still very young, while you can still access all these opportunities and ideas. Look into it. Think of what you can do. Start a side hustle. Look for what you can do. Think about something that will generate you a little source of income, and then start to water it. Start to water it gradually, because it's not every job you are doing right now in your youth that you will do when you get older. For instance, you're working in the warehouse. Yes, you're young. You still have the strength to work in the warehouse. You have that energy. Give yourself the next 15, 20 years. You will not be as strong as you are now to do the same job. And what happens when that time comes, you're not able to do the same job? That's why you should have something at the side to do, just in case, for future purposes. And then the last but not the least, which is very important, is take care of your health now. While you are younger, look after yourself. Do not underestimate the power of exercises. If you can exercise not for the sole reason of losing weight, but to keep fit. And then exercises in one way or the other destroys a lot of illnesses, sicknesses, and what have you that we could have in our bodies, that whether we are aware of or we are not. But exercises go a long way. Take your multivitamins. Help your system, boost your immune system, boost all those things, boostables in your body that you think you might have, or you just think it's not important. Let me just go to the hospital, see your doctor once in a while, go for checkups, try to know exactly what is wrong with you. Even if you think you're all right, even if you feel fine, once in a while, just book an appointment to see your doctor. Go for a medical checkup. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't take anything to know exactly how your body's doing. While you're keeping in check, you're keeping tab of your health now. It will make it easier for your future. Don't wait until all these sicknesses and ailments have accumulated in your body, and then in future you are now running around thinking of how to sort this one out, how to sort that one out. And instead of you to be enjoying your old age, that is when you're now treating one sickness, treating one ailment, treating others. Haven't you seen people in their 90s that are very strong, people in their 80s, still very strong, still very fit? They can walk, they can run, they can do everything a young person does. It's not because they were created specially, but it's because they took care of their health. They did things that, well, we are actually not doing now at our young age. So if you are still very young, if you still have that time and energy in your hands, I bet you this is the time you will want to start working towards your retirement age, towards your future. And who knows, it might be a very blissful one. But if you do not do anything towards it, I'm very sorry. I don't know how that's going to end up, but we wish we enjoy our old age to the very best. Thank you very much for watching, and I do hope you sit back to watch any other videos I'll have to upload at any time. Thank you very much, and God bless you.